No, I'm not sitting there. That's too much.
Get your teeth and you're like gritting your teeth.
Is that good?
Wait, Dad, can I do the action? And like when it's video, I could say action.
No.
Aww.
Hey, what's up guys? Tobin here and Shanna from 5M Family Homestead channel. We were nominated by KBL Texas Homestead to do the 10 questions for homesteaders. Is that what it's called?
I think it was 10 reasons why. Yeah, or 10 reasons why you got into homesteading.
I had to look it up. 10 questions about homesteading. So they nominated us and we're going to do ours. We did decide to do it today because Shanna's hair looked good. That was the determining factor of whether we were going to do it today, and her hair looks good, so we're going to do it.
This is true. In the last couple months, have not washed and dried my hair very much, and I did yesterday, so I told him this was the day we're doing it.
So, Shanna's going to read the questions, I'm going to answer, then she's going to answer, and we'll go through all 10 of them.
Okay. So the first question is going to be, what got you into homesteading?
We've talked about this on our live streams before. We were kind of doing the homesteading thing before it was really, everybody was calling it homesteading. We've kind of, for the last, I don't know what, 10 years, 12 years, we've had a garden, we've had chickens, we've kind of tried to be more self-sufficient. We've always hunted ever since we've been married. We've had wild game. So I guess we've kind of always been doing it, but here lately we've kind of geared it up and doing more stuff, and we're now calling it homesteading.
I think that, yeah, I think we've amped it up a little bit, considering the circumstances that are happening in the world today. You know, before when we would hunt at our lease and stuff, a lot of it was for pleasure. I mean, of course it was to provide food for our family, but I think now it's become out of necessity, to make sure you and your family are more self-sustaining. So we amped up our garden. Our garden is bigger. You know, hunting this fall is going to be really to fill the freezers.
We got a pig.
We got a pig.
Yeah.
Hoping to.
More chickens.
We've already set a slaughter date for that. So I think the transition for us is going to be easier because we've kind of always dabbled in that. But now we have to amp it up and make it where we are not 100% self-sustaining, but
yeah,
almost 100% self-sustaining. Okay, so question number 2. What do you want to add to your homestead in 2020?
So for me, I want to add a wood burning stove to the house. We have plans for doing that hopefully this summer, and a water catchment system. Mm-hmm. We had several things we wanted to do this year that we've already kind of, like we're talking about just the last question, we've kind of got ahead on. We got more chickens, we got a pig, things like that. Those weren't going to happen as fast, but those have happened. So, but for me, water catchment and wood burning stove, and then getting several cords of wood for this winter.
Well, because the wood burning stove we had in our last house, and
yes,
it really did help.
It helps significantly. We would go through several cords of wood each winter, and it really helped heating the house. Mm-hmm. And it was, you know, if the power went out, we still had heat.
2 things that I'm gonna do, I want to focus on this year. I've always wanted, mine has a lot to do with gardening, so I've always wanted a fence around the garden, and so we did that this year. And to do that, I was able to make my garden bigger because there wasn't a chance of the chickens or dogs getting in there and ruining it. So one of the things that I want to start learning how to do is canning. I've never really canned before. I've done pickles in the summer, but those are mainly, as soon as I sell them to people, they're eaten within, you know, a 24 to 48 hour period. So I didn't necessarily have to follow the true canning process, but I want to do that this year, figuring out our storage, where we're going to put all of this that I can. I'm also going to dabble in hydroponics. I've done a little bit of research on it, and I say a little bit because I'm really a trial and error when it comes to gardening. I don't do a whole lot of research. I just kind of see what works. And so I'm going to start the hydroponic process hopefully in the next couple days, and see what that does. That's really all I have planned for the rest of the year. Okay, number 3. What is the most difficult lesson you have learned while living on the homestead?
So, for me, I'm going to go with something recent. We've learned a lot of lessons in the last couple of years in our new house. But most recently is when you're driving T-post, don't bring the T-post driver above the top of the T-post when you're driving them.
That's a new lesson, though?
I've drove thousands of T-posts and never had it happen. So yes, it's a new lesson. But you can see my head's literally indented right here. So it's healed up finally, but it's indented right there. We have a video on it, and I mean, it literally almost knocked me out. And it could have been, had I not had my hat on, it could have been much worse. And I had a buddy who, about a week after I did this to mine, he did the exact same thing, and he had taken his hat off because he was hot and sweaty. And he got 7 stitches. I probably could have used 1 or 2 maybe, but wasn't
there a couple guys on your forum, your bow hunting forum, that had it done within a couple days of each other?
It happens a lot. I know several people it's happened to, so that's mine.
I think one of the lessons I've learned is KBL touched on this too. I think with just life on the farm. I was always opposed to having any type of livestock and raising it and butchering it. I'm not naive to know where all of the food comes from, but it just was something that tugged on my heart, that I just didn't want to have an animal that we raised and have to take it to have it butchered. Now, with the recent of times and seeing what could potentially happen in this country, I changed my mind. So we got the pig, and I really have just made it my thinking that the end purpose of this pig is to feed my family. And so I think if I keep that in perspective, it'll be easy. But I think that's it. Just knowing that, things are brought onto the homestead to help feed our family. Yep. And keep that in perspective. Okay, number 4. What is your favorite chore on the homestead?
Yeah, I mean, we've done so much stuff here lately, so many things. We've been building fence and building a deck, and we've done so much stuff. I enjoy building all this stuff. In the moment, it's difficult sometimes for me, but I enjoy doing that. So for me, I think just improving things is what I enjoy doing. That's not really a chore, but
no, I think it'd be classified because it's always something that has to be improved.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be the garden. I love being in the garden. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love when it comes around spring and we get to get in there. I'm in the garden a lot, weeding and just watching, and I get giddy every time I see a new tomato on a tomato plant or a cucumber or whatever. So mine has to be just maintaining the garden. Okay, number 5, your favorite thing to grow.
I guess to grow means in the garden, and she handles most of the gardening stuff, so I'm just a labor for the garden. So, but I don't know, I mean, tomatoes. I mean, Guy Clark has a song about.
It's just terrible.
Homegrown tomatoes.
It's a terrible song.
I mean, it's people like go crazy over homegrown tomatoes, so that's my favorite.
What's interesting is he didn't start liking tomatoes until the last 5 years.
When we just kind of ramped up the garden, yeah.
I mean, we've been together 25 years, so I mean, it's been a long time. Mine is probably I would grow more in the garden if my family would eat more. But anything, like we have a produce stand that's up the road from a local farmer, and I love fresh lettuce. I love, he said tomatoes, potatoes. I love that. Is it potatoes? I felt like I didn't say that. Potatoes?
Yeah. Potatoes.
But I also love cucumbers because I do pickles, so. Okay, number 6. What do you love most about the homesteading community?
For me, it's just the community on YouTube is just there's a lot of channels that and families that we have never actually met them, but we've been on their live streams a ton of times. They've been on ours. We comment on each other's videos. We watch each other's videos, and it's just does really feel like we know them, even though we've never met them. There's several of them. We're going to mention them here in a little bit, but several channels that feel close to, even though we've never really met them.
I think same for me. I think some of those people we've watched, we've said to each other, "Oh, I think we could really become friends with them," or whatever. You know, there's a couple that I had started seeds this summer or this fall, trying to transplant them, and I've never really started seeds before and transplanted them in the garden. And I got to the point where it was time to transplant, and I didn't really know exactly what to do. And so I messaged a couple of them, and they were very helpful. So I think just that community is really nice. Yeah. Okay. Number 7, what is your favorite meal you like making on the homestead?
I should have thought about this one more before. Shanna's a great cook, so I mean anything. The favorite thing that I make probably is like brisket and ribs. We have a brisket smoking right now. My favorite thing that she makes is anything. She can cook anything. So.
Oh, you're so sweet. I love making things in the fall. I think that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Soups and stews and let me think of that one.
She wants to make soups and breads and get all fat and sassy. I'll put that video in right here.
You need to, because it's really funny.
We'll probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
Anyways, but homemade bread, just things like that. Very comfort foods. I think that's our favorite thing around here. Number 8, what is your favorite holiday?
Mine is Christmas. We start out with a budget. Typically about a week or two in December, I've blown through that budget. We don't typically, like, our kids aren't kids that every time we go to the store they get something. There's, more times than not when we leave the store they don't get anything. So at Christmas I like to splurge a little.
I think
it's my favorite. Yeah.
I think Christmas. I like the summer holidays too. Those are fun.
The 4th of July.
Yeah, because we do traditions, going to the parade, and then we come home and we eat and swim, and then we shoot fireworks and stuff like that. I like the summer one, but Christmas is probably my favorite. I just wish we could remember to slow down sometimes during Christmas and enjoy it, Yeah. Okay. Number 9, is your homestead your permanent homestead, or are you looking to purchase another one?
So that's a complicated question, but the short answer is we intended on our kids continuing through the same school that they started in until they graduate. That was something that's big for Shanna, not so much for me, but so that was our plan, was probably to stay here, and then and maybe after they get out of high school, maybe hopefully buying something between now and then, within an hour or two of here, bigger piece of land, and then maybe eventually moving on to that. But with what's going on in the world right now and not knowing how the schools are going to be going forward, we're not going to subject our kids to nonsense rules in the classroom and having them do things that they can't do, or be asked to do things they can't do, social distancing, all that stuff. So that could change, but as of right, for the next foreseeable future, we're here.
Yeah, I think our goal was to always have land somewhere, property where we could go hunt, and where we didn't have to have a lease and pay for it, that we would have our own property. Our goal is to, hopefully in the next 5 to 7 years, purchase something. That may come sooner, and we don't know right now, but it definitely puts a fire underneath us to start moving in that direction.
Yes, and land, unfortunately, land is going to be going to get cheaper over the next couple of years, I imagine. So
yes. And for those of you that are just not watching, we only live on 1 acre. So
outside the city limits, but 1 acre.
Yeah. So our homestead is small, but we really do try to make the most of our property.
Yeah.
So number 10, I'm gonna let him answer this one. What are some homesteaders you enjoy watching and learning from?
I definitely watch more YouTube videos than she does. I'll send her some, but we do watch some as a family. But the number one is Arms Family Homestead. I think that's a big one for everybody. That's one of the bigger ones that we watch, and then a few of the ones that are similar in size to us is Smith Family Ranch, Walker Farm Fam, and KBL Texas Homestead, who nominated us for this. Yeah, leave in the comments who y'all watch, because we definitely would like to find some more, especially smaller, like 5,000-10,000 subscriber channels that are good out there. So, yeah. So, and then we're going to nominate Smith Family Ranch and Walker Farm Fam.
You know, it's interesting. Walker Farm Fam just went like this because last time we nominated him for something, she had to eat a worm.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go back and watch all the videos on that. It ended with our son on our live stream eating a worm and throwing up on the live stream.
So good times.
Yeah, good fun time. So Walker Farm Fam, Smith Family Ranch, y'all are up. I went through y'all's channel. I couldn't find in the last several months that y'all have done this. So y'all are nominated. And what else?
I think that's it. I think all you down and out there, I guess, comment below on things. If you maybe saw a question on here that we asked that you want to answer, please do it in the comments, because I'd love to hear what everyone else is out there doing. And you don't have to be nominated to make this video. So if you feel inclined, just go ahead and make a video answering the same questions, because I think everybody would get ideas from other people. It goes back to the community.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, you don't have to be nominated, just make one. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Our channel's growing. I think we're about 850 subscribers, hoping to get to 1,000 in the next few months. So hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Thank y'all for watching.
See you later. Bye.